I welcome all of you to the second session of today. We have amongst us a luminary resource person, Dr. R.G. Kothari, and he is going to deliberate on the topic innovative practices in research, consultancy, and extension. Sir has contributed enormously to the field of education. I would like to share a brief glimpse of his contributions. Dr. R.G. Kothari is MSc, MEd, PhD in Mathematics Education. He has been former Dean, Faculty of Education and Psychology at Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. He has been contributing to the field of education for nearly 30 years, in which he has worked in different capacities and at different strategic and administrative positions. Sir started his career as an assistant teacher at Jeevan Sadhana English Medium School. He then worked as a lecturer, moving to the post of a reader, then professor, head department of education, moving on to the position of dean in Faculty of Education and Psychology at Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. He also held the esteemed position of Vice Chancellor of V. Narmad South Gujarat University, Surat. Sir has also a vast account of research work. 20 students have completed their doctoral degree under his expertise, and 6 students are currently pursuing their PhD under him. He has also guided 8 research projects funded by GCERT Gujarat. He has worked as an expert in project conducted by Research and Training Center Gujarat. Sir has been an external examiner to evaluate nearly 190 PhD education theses and 16 dissertations of various universities of India. He has completed 26 research projects. 254 theoretical and conceptual research papers have been published by him in various languages. He is in the editorial and advisory board of nearly 19 journals, has published 20 books, reviewed 5, and translated and edited 2 books. Sir is a member of nearly 25 academic and administrative organizations. Like he has been the Senate member Board of Studies in Education, member Faculty Board in Education, SP University, VV Nagar. He has attended nearly 500 seminars, workshops, in-service training programs as resource person, and has presented nearly 185 papers. He has delivered 70 keynote addresses in various seminars, has disseminated his vast repertoire of knowledge by giving nearly 550 lectures in various educational institutions. The list of his academic contributions is long. Sir has worked as one of the members in NCTE Bhopal. He has been the president of Council for Teacher Education Gujarat chapter since 2008. He has to his credit many awards and recognitions. To mention a few are, Sir has been awarded National Award for Teacher Educators by NCERT. He has been awarded second prize for Best Paper from Gujarat Secondary Education Board, Gandhinagar. Has been conferred with honorary appointment to the Research Board of Advisors by the American Biographical Institute since 2002. Sir has been awarded with the Ramanujan Award 2006 as a Best Mathematics Teacher by All India Ramanujan Mathematics Club. Sir has been awarded Teacher Educator Award 2014-15 by Governor of Gujarat. So there was a long list. I have just tried to summarize it. So we really welcome you on the behalf of the principal, the management, the staff of G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education for sparing your time and sharing your valuable knowledge with us. Sir, over to you, please.
Good morning, namaskar, everybody. Respected principal of the college, Principal G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, Coordinator IQAC, Dr. Manu Chedda, then Dr. Jaslin Kaur, Assistant Professor, other delegates and friends. Well, my topic for today is innovative practices in research, consultancy and extension. So I will be trying to cover this entire topic in this way. I will begin with the role of research, where it's three functions, then role of teacher, then quality of research, then expectations of the policy, various policies from the education and educational research, and then what are the innovations or the best practices. So let me start at how this concept has emerged in your IQAC. That is the research, consultancy, and extension. That was and that is the third criteria in quality and excellence in higher education, so far as NEC is concerned. And at university level, 250 marks are given for this in NEC evaluation sheet. And autonomous colleges, it is 150. Affiliated and constituent colleges also, it is 150. So this is how, out of, if you say 1,000, the weightage given is almost 15% to the research, consultancy, and extension. There is no justification why marks are 250 in the university and 150 in the colleges. Anyway, but what is the role of research and are we really doing? If at all, I will be a bit negative. Please forgive me, pardon me. Now, main function of research is, if you go to many books, I know a well-known book, Good and Sketch, in 1954, they have concluded that main purpose of research is to serve man. आम आदमी की सेवा करना, वो संशोधन या अनुसंधान बोलते हैं, उसका मुख्य कर्तव्य है. That is the serve man. And research was born out of man's problem only. Research was born out of man's problem and also to determination to solve the problems. So according to Wood and Skate, research means goal of research is good life. Up to certain extent it is there, up to certain extent it is not there. Because we are mainly concerned with the research that is for our promotion, for appointment, after appointment promotion. Someone wants to become the assistant professor, then he will either complete NET, SLATE and PhD. He will enter. After that, he will go for another research. So like that, it's the research. So you can evaluate your research, that what is your contribution. But there are other people, they are doing wonderful research. I won't say that we are not doing wonderful research, but last, I think, December or January 2020, we are struggling. What was our problem as we encounter how to tackle COVID 2019? So how many educational institutions have started doing research on that? So all this has been done by private laboratories, fundamental research, and they started. I don't know what we have contributed. It's the research conducted by the scientists. They have never bothered for doctor so-and-so. They have never bothered for award of PhD degree, but they conducted. So what innovation is needed, you try to understand that what innovation or what type of the best practice is needed. It should be according to the needs of the society. And they could do it within 7-8 months, they could do it, but it's not a single person's contribution. N number of people are required for that. A person having knowledge of geology, person having knowledge of botany, persons having knowledge of pharmaceutical science, persons having knowledge of chemistry, persons having microbiology, biotechnology, and medicine. All these people, they sat together and they could do it. They have come out and up to certain extent. What they have done, I don't know, but the immunity level of the human being has gone higher and we could control up to certain extent. So that is the innovation in a way, if at all you want to say. So wherever there are problems, we have to go for a sort of innovative researches. This is number one. In our social sciences, majorly we do the discovery of the functional relationship. Discovery of functional relationship. Which factors are associated? Yesterday night only I was reading some paper and I came to know that all the disease, the roots is mind. हिंदी या गुजराती में क्या बोलते हैं, मन मन मस्तिष्क से जुड़ा हुआ है प्रॉब्लम. Even up to certain extent, they say that diabetes and blood pressure, all they are because of the stress. So if at all you want to do some innovation now, this is the area which you need to be explored. That what to do now? What are the factors associated with stress? And as a result, what happens to the human mind, human body, and human nature? So that is the functional relationship between that. And also it is said that to any research, if at all you want to do, then that research should answer the question related to action, performance, and policy needs. Action, performance, and policy needs. I think in the history of education, I have never seen this many seminars, symposia, online webinars. In last, I have completed 67 and I entered in this profession in 78 at school teaching. I have never seen this type of course, the contribution goes to the NAC that after the arrival of the NAC in 1994, we started with conducting the seminars and all other things. But the way seminars are conducted, webinars are conducted during this COVID, that's great. So that's a policy wise you study, try to study what is its impact, whether it is only for the certification. And you have seen that that video also, that a professor is entering with a certificates full of bags to his college after COVID. So that's a satire for us. Anyway, but what I want to say that action, performance, and policy needs. So policy wise, what we have contributed during this COVID, you just try to see and do research, and that can be qualified to be the innovative practices. So in brief, I will cut short to this, that what is research? So research is made for three purposes. One is to generate knowledge, ज्ञान का सर्जन करना. Second, to establish the functional relationship amongst the variables. We have done it. There are people, psychologists, they have tried to find out the factors related, associated with stress. There are studies where we have tried to find out the factors associated with commitment, performance, and all other things. So that is the second function. And third is to solve the problem. Number wise, you can give any number to 1, 2, 3, but to solve the problems. There are a number of problems. What to do now? There are people, they say that we started with the online education. In higher education, up to certain extent or a greater extent, you can say it is successful. But at school education, it's not there. How many people they are having the internet facility, how many people they are having. So this also needs to be studied properly, so that a policy, when national policy also somewhere said that now 30 to 40% education in higher classes will be online. So whether this is possible, you just try to see. School level, there are many surveys. And of course, we have criticized that internet is not available, or this is not available, smartphones are not available. And the best practice is that with the teacher in the classroom, with the interaction, then only we can do. So this is what I want to conclude, that there are three functions of the research, or three roles of the research: to generate knowledge, to establish the functional relationship amongst the variables, and third one, to solve the problems of human being or the society. That's what is expected. Now, it's not old. Earlier also, when University Grant Commission had come out with one resolution, that time also it is said that through research, teacher has to generate knowledge. And that's why research and teaching should go together. Research and teaching should go together. And then there is another word which has come, that I think Jayant Narlikar also said that uh, no research is better than bad research, but whom you will call bad research. No research is better than bad research. But what we are supposed to arrive at, we should come out with alternative or research-based alternatives. That is innovation. Research-based alternative. What is research-based alternatives? Once we tried at our faculty at the Maharaja Sahaja University of Baroda, when program learning started, program learning material was designed for a course in a B.Ed, Bachelor of Education course on a paper, measurement and evaluation in education. So entire booklet was also ready and it was absolutely research based. But when we say it was research based, its implementation was started and till today, we have a two batch of B.Ed students where one is studying through that book only, book written on program material, and they are studying that and they are studying in that way. But in implementation, I could not say that we could do it the best. We could not universalize it. It was limited to our own institution. For years together, we could do it. That's true. So research should generate knowledge and extend frontiers of the subject. That is what is needed. But at present, you see research, then I will not agree, and I won't talk much about it. But knowledge generated through research should be available for that. So here, program learning material was used, and it has been implemented years together. I know another book also that is based on branching style of program by Robert Meagher. It is a 60 to 63 pages book, how to write instructional objective. We talk of innovation, but in majority of the colleges of teacher education today, we do not have a clarity about the learning outcomes. Though Benjamin Bloom talked a lot, and a number of books on learning outcomes have come, but we could not do it properly, right? So learning outcomes. So this book itself by Robert Meagher, How to Write Instructional Objectives, has contributed a lot. Whether he has done PhD or he was awarded PhD, I don't know. But that is a contribution. And that's what I will say. It is a research-based alternatives. So research-based alternatives, we should go for that. We should find out from the researches. Program learning, again, I will come to that how many studies, I think first study began somewhere in 1964 from UGC chairman only. And it continued. I have seen few studies up to 1985, where people have developed program learning material in linear style only. Hardly there are 2-3 studies available in branching style of program. Very few studies. I can quote them also. One was Professor I.U. Trivedi in Gujarat. Another was Dr. Manjurumma and C.B. Patel. These three, they have contributed something in mathematics, that is branching style program. But it remained there in the library showcase only. Nothing more than that. It has not come out, not been used. But we have proved almost all studies in program learning. When third survey of research has come in the field of education, I think third survey was brought out by NCERT. Earlier it was by Professor M.B. Buch from Center of Advanced Study in Education. And then there was a trend report on educational technology. And in that technology, I think there were 120 studies were quoted. And out of them, 70 studies were in program learning only. And mostly linear type program, Skinner's based linear type of programs were done. And majority, I can say, not 99.9% of studies have proved that program learning is significantly better than traditional method or the conventional method of teaching. These are across the subjects at primary level, secondary level in many states, because 70 to 80 studies were there, and significantly they have proved. But what is ultimate outcome? It has never entered to the classroom. It has never entered to the classroom. Now this was a time where you were supposed to link it with that which topics were covered in those 80 to 90 studies. Bring those studies again and put it without internet, get it published and give it to the students. Let them read at their own, because we have proved it. It is significantly better. That's the research outcome. And those who have a computers, those who are having the laptops and good mobile smartphones, you give them online copy, let them study there. Wherever they are sitting, that. So it will serve both the purpose. That's what is the innovation. But we forgot, we have never looked back to that there were 80 to 90 studies, they are significantly better for, and similarly we can provide it now. Now this is the time that this type of COVID or anything else may come time and again. So can we do this type of programs for entire textbook, all subjects of the schools? I think there should be an agency or all the university, they should try to do. If it is you want in a regional language, do it. Give it responsibility that this college will be doing on this, and see that good material is coming out. That will be helpful offline and online only. What is my basic and fundamental premise is, because we have proved that program learning material in a linear style is far, far better in research language, significantly better than their counterparts, that is the conventional or traditional method of teaching. That is innovation. And still, whatever we have done in 1985, before 35 years, now we can do it. That is innovation. That is innovative practices. But this nobody has done. And nobody will do it also. Anyway, so this is number one, that research was the main function. But we are interested only in PhD degrees, nothing more than that. After that, we are not going to do. In America, I read one article, research paper in Journal of American Research. They had also found out, we have only 70 to 80 studies as per my knowledge, but they have about 450 studies on program learning material, 450. I can recall the name of that gentleman also, Chen D. Kulik. And he had done a sort of a box product, not use the word meta-analysis or something, but he has taken the box product of all that, and he found out their results are different. In India, we have proved that program learning was far, far better, significantly better. But in America, it was proved in this particular paper. I am not overgeneralizing or overquoting. In this paper of Chen Lee Kudik, he has said that it was proved that program learning material was as good as conventional method of teaching. Means equal. M1 equal to M2, mean of this program learning group is equal to mean of the traditional method. In India, mean of the program learning material was significantly higher than M2, that is the conventional method. Till then, we could not derive anything. No innovation is done, no best practice is done. Then, what America and American educationists do, that, oh, this is a material which is almost equivalent to teacher, then why not to take advantage of this? And as a result, they have developed on some value system, some programs on value system, some traffic sense, and so many emerging areas have been identified. And on that, they have designed the program learning material through research-based activity. Books were ready on programs, and it was kept in library. It was not made compulsory to read, but librarian was given a charge to see to this, that how many students are reading, and continuously he was observing. And after 1 or 2 years, study was made with those students. Their knowledge about the traffic sense, their knowledge about the other issues have been really fantastic. So this they could do. That is innovative practice. In India, up to going now, so many people have conducted a study under a different name, computer-assisted learning material, computer-assisted material, and significantly better. And now we are moving to the blended learning. I don't know what exactly is, but computer-assisted learning, that was the time from 90 to 2010. There are n number of studies on program, not program, but it was on computer-assisted learning material in various subjects. And that is also significantly better. So why it has not come out as a regular practice? It has not come out. So this is what is expected by the research, that you go for that and try to see. After a completion of the research, try to universalize this, that whether this is possible. If your study is limited to particular district or state, then try to do it with many schools and contribute something. Anyway, that is the thing. But again, going back to UGC and all other things, they say that research-based alternative. So this is what I said is the research-based alternatives, right? I also tried, but I could not I was not successful. I have seen that students, why they are weak in mathematics. Then after studying many studies, there is a book also by Professor Rastogi, Mathematical Weaknesses, and his own study also. And there are a number of 12 studies. It says that's why they are weak in mathematics. So major cause or major causes were two. One, that they are very weak in their fundamentals, so the basics of mathematics. And second, that they have a negative attitude towards mathematics. What can be done? I tried. I designed one test of about 70 items. And at the time, class 8 was with the secondary in Gujarat. So I said that whenever students come to class 8, in the beginning, these 70 items should be given to them. And if they are poor, a diagnosis and remedial work can be carried out. And if you do this, then their fundamentals will have a clarity and they can do better in mathematics. This is what a sort of innovation. So what I want to say that our research has never entered to the schools. If it is for school, it has never entered to the schools. Majority of our work is for schools only. Higher education, we have not concentrated. So this is what is needed. Anyway, so this is the knowledge generated through research activities should go to the schools. No, it has not gone. You ask a question to all PhD holders who are working that have you published any paper from your thesis after PhD? Because nowadays, if publications are necessary before you submit the PhD, but after PhD, how many of you have published papers? And that too in that language, you might have done in English, but if it is data was collected in Punjab, you should do it in Punjabi medium also. Translate it and give it and have some orientation. But this is not being done, right? So teachers, three functions were given by University Grant Commission. First, I am not emphasizing, that is teaching. Everybody is teaching. Second is the research. And perhaps colleges level at the research is not done. That's why marks are less by NEC. Second is extension. So I hope you are getting what innovations we are supposed to do. PhD, I don't consider as an innovation because there is a possibility that you may fail in school, but I have never seen anybody failing in PhD. Failing rate in PhD is not even in 1%. Everybody passes. After 2 years or 3 years, that is a bit difficult. But everybody passes in PhD. That's getting PhD is not a difficult. That's why other day in one of the book I have written one chapter and I said that now PhD should not be compulsory for teaching position. Only NET and SLATE should be compulsory for PhD position. But when I wrote this, next day only Minister of Education, earlier someone else was there. He said that PhD will be compulsory qualifications for entering to the teaching field in the colleges and university. Otherwise, I have seen at least what she said in the biodata 190, but by now I have examined 220 theses, including the projects from ICSSR also. So it's very easy, and let's not enter to that much. But after that, if you say that I have contributed significantly, distribute it, and that comes the extension. So extension has two definitions. One, so it is coming from 1977. UGC brought a policy framework for the development of higher education in India, in which extension was mentioned as a third activity of university and college teachers. So number one, extension. So there are two types of extension. One is whatever you have conducted as a research, let it go to the users. If I think near Ludhiana, there is very nice agriculture university also. if you are doing some wonderful research, it should go to that farmers. It should go to that farmers that, okay, you do is this. जो rice पकाने के लिए जो होते हैं, that was a Japanese paddhati. I think before 30 years it has entered and it started and production has increased. So I know one university, and unfortunately now it is not university. Now it has been converted to the college. But in the near Bhavnagar, there is one university now called Lok Bharti. And in Lok Bharti, whatever the research they are doing, not for PhDs, some sort of the innovations. Let me use the word innovation for farming, for having more milk from the cows and all other things, some foods for the cow and all other things. That is distributed within the 100 kilometers area or radius area with the farmers. So university and colleges must have a good dialogue with the local community. That is not there. Even we never discuss our findings with the students from whom we have collected the data. Ethics. Nowadays, people talk a lot about the ethics. And UGC also said one entire coursework, one paper will be there for the ethics in research. That will be there in ethics and people will exam, pass also. But ethics should enter to our heart. Ethics should enter here. That is not there. So what I said, that if you are doing research, whether it is a PhD or project, whatever it may be, the findings should be distributed to that. And that too in that language. Whenever you are asking for some fund from government, PhD to theek hai, UGC is giving some data, but in 100 project, whether from ICSSR or UGC, but especially government, I have seen that whenever we ask for the funds from the government will not give. The government will say that these are our problems, you have to solve this through research. Problem identification, you forget that. That you can keep in the book, how you identify the problem. We have already problems and we want you to solve this. And then they say that we are not interested in your 2 kg projects also. We want only 25. I want only 25 pages in that particular language. If it is for farmers, let them read. If it is for the local shopkeepers, let them read. So in that language, I want that 20 pages. Whatever the methodology, we hope that you have done well. That is also not done properly, that I know, but it should be in that language and it should be discussed with them, right? So that is the extension part. Your research should go to the users community. जो आपका research है, it has reached to that level and that we can do wonderful, right? And second part of the research is other extension activities. Now, which are the extension activities? NEC, I have seen, I think almost 70 colleges, and I have seen that they will adopt a village. They will plant some trees. They will start with the literacy program for 2-3 months and it's over. It's not a regular universalized process. It's a single agenda problem for the NEC that we will show it. Otherwise, literacy could have not been stopped up to 70 or 75. It should go to 100%, but that is not happening. Tree plantation. I don't know how many trees are cut every day for the making the highways or the developmental projects and all other that. You can read somewhere on the Google sustainable development and you will find. So that also is not properly done. Tree planting, you ask. Other day I also went to school and I asked that last year I planted one tree poda here. Where is it? They were not able to show. So it's a single short episode. There will be a photograph and news item, and we say we have done something. This is absolutely a sort of cheating, and that we are not supposed to do. That is not extension work. So extension work at the time in 1977 and 80s was participation of teachers. This was there at that time because this was the need of our adult and continuing education. It was for adult education because literacy percentage in 1970s, 80s was very less. And adult education also. Adult education, farmers को भी educate करो आप. Farmers should also be educated कि खेती का तरीका क्या है, इस तरह से करने से क्या होता है, what is the difference in the production, right? So this we are supposed to do. Earlier it was extension and communication, right? And now where consultancy, or sorry, not consultancy, where we can do oh, this type of extension work, and what are the expectations of the society. So I will take a little time here that can we do it here without research also, or do research on that. When MDG, Millennium Development Goals, had come somewhere in 2005-6, first thing they emphasized was eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Now, can you do it? Eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. You will say, with my PhD, I will not be able to do. But can you adopt one village? And could you do this poverty and hunger? Could you teach them how to earn money? So we will say it's none of our business. So extension requires this. How much wastage of food is there? But we say we are students, we will not do it. But some sort of the extension activity should be there. In our teaching also, it's not that only courses you are doing. When in government of Gujarat gave me a project on choice-based credit system, I have kept extension activities as one of the major things. How much weightage was given, there was a doubt because nobody wants to move. People say we are interested in foundation subjects, we are interested in electives, we are interested in a principal and major subjects. But when it comes to foundation and all other things, elective subject, the choice was, or that input said that it's very minimum. But I said it should be maximum. You should give some weightage, 20% weightage. It should not be the cup of tea only for social workers, or a bachelor of social work and master of social work. We should do something for hunger also. That so much wastage of the food is there, how to control. Now, few agencies here and there, they have started. Some NGOs, they have started, but NGO, they have their own role to play. But can we do as an institution? Can we do as an institution? So that was in Millennium Development Goal. Then universal primary education. Of course, that we can do, and we are trying to do. At least the thanks goes to the NAC because we are adopting 1 or 2 villages and BC. But in a literal sense, it is not being done. Right? Then promote gender equality and empower women. So some innovation should be done on gender equality and empower women. But still our research project, gender is one of the variables. We try to find out the difference between boys and girls, men and women, and we talk of the gender equality. But empowering women, how can you empower women? There are a number of things we can do it now. And there are few such institutions, they are working. In the newspaper I read. But on that day, on that, we are not doing any research. That what problems they are facing, what funds they want, what are their expectations from the government, that is not being done. So such case studies should be conducted. But who will conduct? We say we are in education, so we will not do. That is none of our business. We have nothing to do with the hunger and plantation. Then reduce child mortality. बच्चे काफी मर जाते हैं, उसके लिए क्या कर सकता है? तो मेडिकल वालों के लिए है. But mothers को, you can educate the mothers. Educate mothers, not education means giving them the literal knowledge of ABCD and alphabets. Educate about that life of the 9 months, how to care the child after birth, and before that, how to take care of her. So that should be done. That is there. Then something should be done for HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases also. So these are all extension activities with research or without research. If you can use it as research, fine, right? And environment and sustainability. So that is also there. So in environmental sustainability, There are a number of things now. I think as many as 17 goals I have seen. But this is time and again it is seen that what we are doing. Suppose when national policy on education came, and here also recently also the policy education and EP now 2020 had come. So are we familiar with this? Here they say that we are supposed to give clean drinking water. How you will be able to do clean drinking water? There are no problems in certain states. I think in Punjab also, I don't think there is any problem with the water. Gujarat also not that problem. Northeast, that Seven Sisters, we have no problem. Rajasthan, some problem is there. MP, some problem is there. So what to do? Rainfall is also fluctuating. This time in entire October is going to over, but hardly there is any rainfall in Gujarat. So what are the reasons? Can you find out something? Or whenever there are researches that if you are staying in a tenement or if in a flat where 2000 square feet area is there of that uh, ceiling and 2-inch water will fall, how much water it is consumed, you know? I don't know, you can find out. Only 2-inch rain and 2000 square feet is the area of your terrace, and how much water is coming. This will simply go to drainage. It will simply go to some river. Now, how to see that this water enters to the land? उसके जमीन में कैसे उतारा जाए? उसके लिए भी बोलते हैं कुआं. I don't know the exact English of that, but एक प्रकार का कुआं, well बना देते हैं सीधा का सीधा. What we call is water harvesting. Water harvesting, that is also started. Of late, NAC is also insisting, do you have any provision of water harvesting? But wherever water logging is there, wherever this type of buildings are there, see that this water enters to the ground surface. People had started. It is made compulsory, but it has not been universalized. It has not made compulsory. So this is what we are supposed to do. And then only you will be able to get drinking water. Then coming to the clean drinking water. First is the drinking water. In one area of Gujarat, they have started with the check dams. Earlier, entire water was going to the sea only. So now they have blocked it. And as a result, I don't know, I don't say that it is the functional relationship, but in that area, now rainfall has increased in last 10 years. I don't want, it is not a research-based statement, but here is a priority that clean drinking water, sanitation quality, healthcare. Nowadays, we are emphasizing so much on the healthcare. So we need to talk something about the healthcare. That is national education policy says. Then improve transportation. What to do, right? Energy. So these are some of the things national policy on education also says that we should focus on that. It is not that this policy says earlier, if you go to the national policy on education 1986, before 34 or 35 years, they also said that we should go for history of India's freedom movement. That should be taught. In history, it was taught, and what is the history? There are two types of the people. One is absolutely criticizing, and one says that it's absolutely wrong history we are teaching, constitutional obligation. But and those 10 core elements I have seen, that the last 3-4 were very much important. Protection of environment, preservation of environment, how to preserve environment, more number of trees, and that will help. Nowadays, you realize the cost of oxygen during COVID, how much is the cost. So if you have more and more trees, I think you can survive. That is there. Then observation of scientific temper, inculcation of scientific temper. That was also there, that we should go for these also. Anyway, so this was there in NP 86, NP 2020. I said clean drinking water, sanitation, and healthcare was emphasize. So can you do some research on that? Right. And means you can do, it's nothing wrong. I know, and I have been quoting this often, that once in one area of Gujarat, there was one disease. एक रोग ऐसा था कि वो नहीं होता था. What was the reason? And the name of that is leucoma. एक आंख में एक प्रकार का पानी होता था. So if that becomes an obstacle in your vision, in your sight, who will do? A research scholar will not enter. University will not enter because of limitations of budget and everything. So one medical pharmaceutical company started this. And how it has started, you know, this is real innovation. First, they started locating the areas, identifying the geographical areas, that this is the area where this particular disease is not there. ये रोग यहाँ प्रसरमान नहीं हुआ है, right? So geographical limits उसने decide कर लिए, and thousands of people were trained. They're given the training in the healthcare and data collection and all these things. They could do it. They have visited the individual families. They have sampled. It may be sampled, not the entire population, but they have visited the government hospitals. They have visited the private doctors, and they could finally conclude that this is the area where this glaucoma is not there. So first phase of research is over, and thousands of the people were involved, and you can and also consider the cost. So nobody in university or they will be able to do. Second, they started now what to do. So their habits, life habits, food habits. So they started with that. So here you need a qualified people in food and nutrition. So those who have studied in the Faculty of Family and Community Science or Health, Home Science, they were given the training, others were given the training, and finally they found out that food habits. And finally conclusion was there that there was some plant, it was consumed more in this particular area, and as a result, this glaucoma was not there. Now searching for that plant, they could get it. Now here they started third phase of the research. Second phase is over. Here also thousands of the people are involved. So no researcher can enter here. PhD वाला तो करेगा ही नहीं, वो तो भाग के छोड़ के चला जाएगा. Third point started that they now thought that this is the plant. From that plant, they implemented, consulted botany people. Earlier I said that how many people are required in a cooperative research. So botany people were invited, new plants were cultivated, and finally it was implemented also on the few people, those who are having that particular disease, and then they prepare a medicine from this plant. Growing these plants, farmers had also on, those who have prepared medicine, they have also on, and it has universalized in entire India. And that was the first pharmaceutical company in India they have done. So that is real innovation, and that is the research. So you compare with your PhD. 30 student लेते हैं, एक महीना पढ़ाते हैं, टी निकालते हैं, और फिर पूरा PhD कर देते हैं. I don't think that should be done. So this is the real piece of research. Interdisciplinary, or you can say now the national education policy has used the word multidisciplinary. So that multidisciplinary has been used, right? So that is real innovation. Can you find out something here in teaching also? That okay, this is the school where every year some 100 students are admitted to either the medicine or engineering or some good branches of education. Why? Study it. Do it. But why? Is it the private coaching classes? Is it the additional coaching given to them? Or is it the way that they are selected? Nobody less than 90% were given the admission. So you give admission to 50% and you see that now he is going to become a doctor. So do that type of innovation. Help your child to do that. That is not being done. That we are not doing. I have tried to do sometimes. I know one example just for, I think 12:20 ना 12:30 तक time है ना मेरे पास, Manu. So
yes sir, you can take 12:30 to 12:40 sir.
So 12:30.
Okay. Yeah, up to 12:30 I will go. Then you can have a discussion.
Yes.
So
yes,
what happened? That once it happened in Gujarat also, that 12th merit was considered from 450 marks. 450 marks. Now, this will lead to the research, innovative research. 450 marks was the total. From that, one student secured 406 marks. Listen to this properly, 406 marks. How this will lead to innovation. So then on inquiring, it was found that there are 67 students on 406. How many students are there on 406? 67 students are having the same score. Now here it is over. But suppose if you have the student in your class, if you can help him for only 1 mark, then it will be 407. Now the water has flown, you cannot do anything. But the future implications that in your class, there are students, they are committing minor errors. And this minor error or errors will lead to 1 mark or 2 mark, reduction of 1 mark or 2 mark, 1 mark kam hoga. What will happen? If it is 407, then he is ahead to 67 students. Listen this properly. 67 students से आगे हैं. क्या फायदा होगा? 406 वालों को प्राइवेट में मिलेगा और 407 वालों को ग्रांट इन एड, गवर्नमेंट एडेड इंस्टीट्यूशन में मिल गया. चलो, तो कितना फायदा हुआ? 1 मार्क का. व्हाट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ दैट? प्राइवेट में तो पता नहीं, बट मिनिमम फीस एक सेमेस्टर की 60 to 70 है इंजीनियरिंग में. सो 8 सेमेस्टर का गिनो, that is more than 5-6 lakhs. Food and other expenditure, that is 5-6. So ultimately, the cost of that engineering will go to at least 15 to 20 lakhs. What is the role of 1 mark? If he is on 406 mark, he is getting in the private college. And if he is given 1 more mark, given or he secured with your efforts of the teacher, he is getting 407, and he could save 20 lakhs rupees of the parent. That is the innovation. Now, how you will do this innovation? In your B.Ed course, also introduce this. This is not still we prepared the Ross and Stanley's 5 steps of diagnosis and remedial work. But you have a workshop of that type. Invite all the schools one day and ask them that today all teachers with the mathematics will come and they will bring the answer sheet of their final examinations. Final means school ne jo conduct kiya, class 8, you select particular standard, 8, 9, 10th, and separate workshop will be there. Sometimes for language, sometimes for science, and find out where are the common errors. Galtiyan ya kshatiyan kahan hoti hai? What type of errors are committed? I don't know, earlier also somewhere I said that galtiyan karne mein, in committing errors, we have national integration. ट्यूशन का स्पेलिंग पूरे हिंदुस्तान में कैसे लिखा जाता है, ट्राई करो ट्यूशन का. There is national integration. So try to find out that what are the common errors committed by class 8 student in maths, class 9 science maths or science or social study, and that will help them in improving their achievement scores, because nowadays mark has market value. Mark से ही चलता है, बाकी abilities को कोई पूछते नहीं है. Whatever marks you have secured, that is the only thing, right? So this is innovation. That I don't know whether this will lead to a PhD or something, but you can have a project or a project से काम हो सकता है. So 2 types of extension work I have narrated, right? That number 1, your PhD findings should be published and to the target group. जिसको target किया है population, उसके पास ये जाना चाहिए. That is number 1. And number 2, there are certain issues that you should resolve. Maybe it is healthcare, maybe it is food and nutrition, maybe poverty, hunger, or weaknesses. Weakness is not health-wise, weakness is in mathematics, weakness is in English, vocabulary ठीक से नहीं लिखते हैं, construction sentence का ठीक से नहीं होता है. All these things can be checked, and that is innovation. और उसके लिए एक बंदा काफी नहीं है, एक प्रोजेक्ट करना चाहिए. आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन को भी प्रोजेक्ट में पैसा देना चाहिए. That some this type of projects will be given to you, and you 6 people can conduct this research from each subject. That is really innovation. So through teachers should be able to do this, and उसके लिए बाकी भी काम है, NCC, NSS भी करो, वहाँ काफी काम होता है, सोशल वर्क वालों भी करो, मास्टर ऑफ सोशल, बैचलर ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन और MBA वालों को भी जाके let them work in that, but that reality we are not doing. MBA वालों को एक स्टडी करने के दे दो कि भाई ट्रेन का और बस का हवाई जहाज का किराया इक्वल कर दो, क्या फायदा होगा? स्टडी करो ना, 1 महीने के लिए सभी को बोलो कि ट्रेन का जो भी है क्लास 1 का और फर्स्ट क्लास AC का सेम विल बी, यू कैन ट्रैवल विद प्लेन फ्लाइट आल्सो। क्या होगा फायदा? मार्केट की वैल्यू क्या होगी? कोई एक पर्टिकुलर कंपनी जैसे जेट तो रही नहीं अभी, उसको पकड़ो और स्टडी करो एयर इंडिया को करो, गाइड करो, बिकॉज इट इज रनिंग इन लॉस, दैट विल बी अ ग्रेट इनोवेशन, राइट? सो NCC में ज्वाइन करो, NSS में ज्वाइन करो, और ऐसा कोई ग्रुप बनाओ, दैट विल बी देयर। सो बट दिस इज नॉट हैपनिंग, राइट? नीपा का भी एक सर्वे है, उसमें भी है कि अध्यापक भी 16 घंटा पढ़ाते हैं, बाकी ये सब होता नहीं है। सॉरी फॉर दिस कमेंट, but this is what we are supposed to do. These are in extension activities. We are supposed to do this also. And nowadays there is a great problem in communication skill. ठीक से बोल नहीं पाते हैं आप, our own language we are not able to express properly. So how to develop this communication skill? So that can also be done. And there are people across the globe. I think there was one gentleman in AT he said where we should focus in extension activities. He said environment, water, clothing, food, housing, healthcare, communication, energy, and education, spiritual and cultural needs. This is what he emphasized. So this is the extension work, and people expect a lot, society and nation expects a lot, that along with your teaching, extension work you should do with research and without research also. If it is research-based alternatives could be there, otherwise. And third part is consultancy, which is almost zero in majority of the colleges and 1 or 2% in majority of the universities. There are reasons. Whenever I read the report, next peer-to-peer report, they write that we do free consultancy. क्या किया? स्कूल में जाके एक भाषण दे दिया कि after 12th where you can go. Now this is not a real consultancy. Real consultancy, I don't know education people be able to do, but we can do. There are students having a problem. There are gifted students, they are also having a problem. There are backward students, they are also having a problem. So what to do? Do you have their case studies? Do you have their profile? Do it and find out the process for that. That can be done, but this is not being done, right? So consultancy, in literal sense, who does the consultancy? Chemistry people, they are doing wonderful consultancy. Chartered accountant, those who are in teaching, they are there. Huh? You believe that chartered accountants are there, they are teaching. But now I know in our commerce faculty, there were earlier 23 chartered accountants were there, but now they are not doing. What is the reason? Because they are not allowed for private practice, or if they are allowed for private practice, then there is a ratio that whatever you earn, 40% you should deposit to the university, and as a result, now they have the number has reduced. So consultancy ka bhi some percentage you have to give it to university. Geologist people, geology, Pustra Shastra, they are also doing consultancy. Civil engineers, they are also doing consultancy. Architect, they are also doing the consultancies, right? So this is real consultancy, but our consultancy should help in improving the quality of higher education. That's what is the consultancy, but that is not being encouraged, and we are also not interested. Consultancy, मैं भी घर बैठे consultancy करता रहता हूँ. I don't earn money from that. औरंगाबाद से एक लड़की ने भेजा किसी को PhD के लिए कुछ करना है, 2 घंटा बैठी और I guided him. I have not asked for anything, but that is also a sort of consultancy. But sometimes सरकार को consultancy की जरूरत है. Particular institution, they also require consultancy. Suppose a private university asking, sir, हमारे teacher को थोड़ा बहुत training दीजिए. You can do that consultancy. But your college, whether they will permit, your university they will permit, or how much contribution they will ask for, that since you are our employee, we are paying you, at least 40% you have to deposit. So this is all about the, you can say, consultancy, right? And what tech expects, that consultancy, similar thing, that some sort of the outreach programs, you should consult for outreach programs, participate the students and faculty in extension activities of NCC, NSS, or NGOs that we are supposed to do. Then college neighborhood, they should go and they should contribute something, some sort of the partnership with university research institution. If there is any research institution, even pharmaceutical institution, then we should go for it. So that is what is needed. And all what we do is not you can say innovations. Innovative practices should be, there are certain steps, somewhere I got it, that identification of a best practice, implementation of best practices, institutionalization of best practice, and internalization of the best practice. And then you have to disseminate it to the best practices. So here is the 4 or 5 steps for the best practices. But what we go to the villages and we say that we have planted few trees. That is not the best practices. That is not the best practices. But you say that we have gone to this, we have developed a medicinal plants, a garden is full of medicinal plants, people are using it, and we have prepared some medicine, or directly these plants are consumed by the people, and as a result, there is no disease or few disease, blood pressure can be controlled, diabetes can be controlled like that. If that is there, that's fine. But anyway, if you cannot go to that, tree plantation will also be enough. I give a little value to it. Even the preservation of environment, that will help. So that is also a good activity. Let's not say but it will be innovation, not the best practices, because best practice is still done by few, and the innovation is done by you can say everybody. So this should be the cause. So this is what is a college is supposed to do: research, consultancy, and innovation in research, extension activities, and consultancy. So try to understand, go through various goals, sustainable goals at national development, our goals at our national education policy in 2020, and what we can do. At least identify few things and do it, and go into the depth. If you can do that, that's wonderful. With this, I conclude my lecture. If at all there are some issues or some comments from your side, I will encourage. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a very practical and useful session. And the examples you have given from the daily life, they have been actually so beneficial to understand the research in its true perspective, how it can be used for the benefit of the common man to solve the real life problems. So we will be taking up the questions now. Now the house is open for discussion. All the participants are requested to raise their queries now. Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we had our NAC inspection, we were like guided by the NAC peer team to give consultancy, which is paid. So there comes the problem: how to arrange for paid consultancy? Like people pay us for consultancy.
Paid consultancy. You can keep nothing wrong. You resolve your management, ask your management that allow us to go for consultancy. What type of consultancy? So you can say that we will go to particular school. There are very good hi-fi schools where they are charging more than 50,000, 60,000. You train then teacher for say communication skill or for guidance or for diagnosis and remedial work. You deliver the lectures and workshop for that. A group of people can go. You charge something from them. And if management say that you have to deposit something to that, deposit 40%, 60%, you can keep it with you. That can be done. But this should not be done at the cost of your teaching. During vacations or holidays, you can do it, nothing wrong. And people are doing also, but that is only by giving a lecture. And but giving 1 hour lecture, I think you will not be able to improve the situation. It should be a few days continuously you do it, and then study it also, that what is the impact. So make it a research also, small piece of research.
And so how it can be done on the institutional level, like not only the individual level?
So you prepare a team, that what you will be doing. You prepare your brochure, give it to various schools that we will be doing this. Expertise will be given to these schools. If schools are satisfied, they will come to you. If they are not satisfied, forget it.
Fine, sir, fine.
So it is your talents.
Yes.
And your group and teamwork at the College of Teacher Educators. That can be done.
Sir, another question related to the question put by Dr. Jasleen. As she said,
please, कौन बोल रहे हैं?
Hello.
Yeah.
Dr. Pagat, your voice is breaking. It's not clear.
Okay. Is it clear now, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, fine.
So, Parvat, is it the same college which I visited?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So now your voice is okay. You can continue, please.
Okay, fine. First of all, thanks to Dr. R.G. Kothari ji for a beautiful deliberation on this very important topic. Sir, I have a question which is related to question of Dr. Jasleen. As Dr. Jasleen was asking that NAC is asking about the paid consultancy. But if we are providing consultancy but not charging anything, it should not be a bad practice, because we are offering our services to some schools or some colleges, and we are not willing to take any charges from them. Then it should be promoted. Otherwise, the NAC criteria says that how much money you have collected from the consultancy. This was the main question.
You can do it, no problem. You have to give the evidences, right? You can do it, that we are continuously providing the consultancy to the particular some of the schools. These are the photographs. This is the invitation letter. This is the teamwork, and NAC will approve. Nothing wrong. I have done that. That is nothing wrong. All that money, but foreign concept, earning money from that, because there are many universities abroad. They are not taking a single pie from the government. They do either research, earn money from research, they do consultancy, and rest of the money is given by alumni association.
Okay.
Otherwise, here government will ask, okay, where have you spent? What is this? The tenders were done, quotations were done. All these things are there. So I think this should be rich enough now. How to be rich enough, I don't know. So those who wants to start the university, when they come for free consultancy to me, I also say that how many teachers, how many faculties you want? Faculties mean art, science, commerce, engineering, medicine. How many non-teaching and teaching staffs are required? And then what is that salary? When don't go up to the 7th pay. Suppose reasonably, if you are giving 6th pay also, what is the total amount? Suppose it is coming 30 lakhs per month or 1 crore per month. Then I said, you invest such a amount of money, which will give you 30 or 40 lakhs rupees of interest per month. Then only you start. Then you are free. If your management is also giving you some money for consultancy or research, you do it, fine. That okay, we are not charging because management has given something for the research. We have done certain communication skill and now we are teaching. So that can be done. So proper evidences should be given. That's all. To NAC also, proper evidences, because documentation, now almost 70% marks are for documentation. 30% is only for the visit. So you give the documentation that these are the photos where we have gone. This many people had gone. This is our syllabus. That is done. Right now at the university, private university, GSFC University, we have done 2 days. Of course, I have not asked for any consultancy because now I am a private person. I am a retired person. Nobody can and stop me also. But I sat with their people, their training officer, and 2 days sessions were organized, and it is very well taken. And they have paid also some money. But at institutional level also, there should be some provision for this.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
You should be an expert in particular field. That okay, here is the thing, problematic child, okay, I will do it. It's my if there is some case okay, I will do it. So some specialization should be there. One counseling center also, if you have a good person in psychology. So now that multidisciplinary coming to multidisciplinary, it is not only education. ये एजुकेशन वाला कहीं आर्ट्स में जाके भी पढ़ाएगा और आर्ट्स वाला भी यहाँ आके फिलोसफी पढ़ाएगा. Like that concept will be there. That time we can have some center, counseling center.
Excuse me, sir, you're not audible.
Sir, your voice was breaking in between. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your reply. Jasleen ma'am, you can proceed, please.
Thank you so much, Principal sir. So we don't have any more questions in the chat box. Actually, sir's lecture was
Okay.
entire practical thing with examples. So I think we can conclude the session with your permission.
Yeah.
Yes, please, ma'am, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. I extend a very heartful thanks to Dr. R.G. Kothari for sparing his time and sharing his vast repertoire of knowledge. Sir has given his pearls of knowledge to us, whatever he has gathered through his 38 years of experience. Thank you so much, sir. We have all have benefited, and we'll try to make research more life-oriented, linking it with the practical problems of life and making it useful for the common man. Thank you so much, sir. We'll be ending this session here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And dear participants, thank you so much for joining us in this session. And I hope you all have benefited from sir's knowledge. We'll be gathering together at 1:30 again for the last session of this 2 days webinar. So it's over from our side for the moment. See you at 1:30 p.m.